Good morning. How's everyone doing? So it's October the 9th, and I've driven about 50 kilometers deep into the Purcell Mountains here in British Columbia, Canada. I'm camped at 1,700 meters elevation. This could be it, my last time in this area this year. The snow is definitely coming, so I'll try my best to enjoy it one last time. I want to go big, see if I can get one more 11er mountain summit done. This will be my 7th out of the 10 in the Purcells if I can get Mount Hammond today. I still have a couple left in the Bugaboos and also Commander Mountain over there, but yeah, I can see got the wood stove all stoked up, nice and cozy in here, but just gonna finish my breakfast and we'll get started on this. So I'm using the same 1.5 kilometers of approach trail that I used for Mount Farnham. As tempting as it was to throw on a down jacket and some gloves back in the van, I knew I'd be much better off dressing lightly, as this trail is just so steep, and I knew I'd be heating up very quickly. Looks like I got myself perfect bluebird day here. Clear sky, no smoke. I should get all the views today that I didn't get when I was up on Farnham. That's the end of the trail. I just have to keep making my way up and across. So now the true slogging begins to get up into this southeast cirque. So there's a number of different ways to climb Mount Hammond. I'm aiming for this like sort of southeast ridge line that goes up and kind of traverses across the east face, which apparently goes at class 4. I was tempted to pack in some rope and a harness in case I needed to set up a rappel, but decided to leave it all behind and just hope for the best that we can find a way without it. Yeah, I don't have a GPS track for Mount Hammond. Just have a brief description of where I'm supposed to go. I think I can mostly see the line. I'm not sure I'm looking at the summit right now. It could be behind that. All this rock is shattered apart. And the spears. It's interesting. I'm just traveling right along here. So far, nothing more than class 3 on this route. But yeah, less than 200 meters of climbing left to the summit. And I've only been hiking a little more than 3 hours, so we're just cruising right on up this thing. Mount Farnham over there, standing tall. Right under the summit now. You could probably climb up at any moment, but I'm just veering around to the eastern side to see if there's a way that Rocco can get herself up there self-supported. This looks like it. I think we did it. Not many people have been up this one. The last ascent was in 2022. And there I am. And likely Rocco coming in for a first dog ascent too. This might be one of the best viewpoints in the Purcell Mountains you could possibly ask for. So that's Mount Farnham, the king of the Purcells. I climbed that 2 weeks ago by going up through there to the top. Of course, I got to do a shout out to Mount Assiniboine and the Rockies off in the distance. That's Farnham Tower. Then spinning around to the north, you can see the Bugaboos. Here's Eyebrow Peak, another Purcell 11er. Then Mount May in the foreground. Then Jumbo and Commander. Can't quite see Karnak. Then two more 11ers over here. Mount Peter and Mount Delphine. What a day to be up in the mountains. I can't believe this. Final stats for Mount Hammond. That was a 10-kilometer round trip with 1,750 meters of elevation gain. Total elapsed time was 7 hours, 45 minutes. I was about 4 hours up, 45 minutes on the summit, and 3 hours to get back down. And even though I brought Rocco with me on this, I don't recommend that other dogs do this mountain summit. I rate this like a solid class 3+. There were a few committing moves that some people might consider class 4, but most difficulties were avoidable, and there was no deadly exposure involved. Fantastic day in the mountains. Good morning. So today we're heading up into the mountains to check out an old miner's cabin. Not going to spend the night, just want to take a look around today. It's a bit rustic, not sure I want to sleep in it, but it has been semi-renovated. It's got a wood stove and a bed platform in it. But yeah, there used to be an old mining trail that went up through here, about 100 years old. This part has been erased by recent logging operations, but we should set foot on the actual trail later. And the reason I'm bringing a jack with me is that there's a boulder blocking the trail. I want to see if I can move it out of the way. That's only just on a national park quality trail here. It's all leveled and graded. This all would have been dug out by hand long ago. That's a story over and over again in this area. All these trails that are presently used for like mountain summits and hiking were originally built for prospecting. Here's this pesky boulder that's blocking the trail. Give me sleepless nights. Maybe I can put the jack like right under there and just get it up on an angle, and maybe it'll slide straight down without pinching my jack and losing it permanently would be nice. Mission success. Boulder moved. Continue on up. Take a look at this cabin. The cabin is about another 30 minutes up the trail here. Just a quickie hike today. I think this would be a fun location to do an overnight snowstorm in. But yeah, I've been around the Columbia Valley for like over a year now, so starting to get the itch, ready to go somewhere else. It's looking like might head to the lower 48 for a bit this winter. I miss Utah. Miss it a lot. Ready for some more adventures down there. And I'm still grinding every single day on Facebook Marketplace, searching for a new rig to use through the winter. Just the amount of dickery on there is kind of frustrating though. Every time you do see a nice rig for a reasonable price, somebody snatches it up, then tries to resell it a week later for $10,000 more. And I'm not in support of that. Alright, we have arrived. Here's the old miner's cabin. Take a walk around, take a look at things. I didn't have the chance to come up here and see it before it was renovated, so I don't know like the story on what it used to look like. So you can tell these logs here have been chopped down. So was this originally like twice as big? And the roof is actually like a new construction this year. So it must have been in pretty rough shape before. Yeah, it's got a brand new tarp on there, so it stays nice and dry inside. All sorts of odds and ends, scrap metal laying around from the mining days. Alright, let's look inside. So yeah, it's got a bed platform, just big enough for one person there on the left side. There is room for a bunk above it, however. Then just a bench on this side. Nice plywood flooring. Then a wood stove with all the rocks stacked on there to soak up the heat. Window with a very good view. Definitely feels like a refrigerator in here, even though it's nice and warm outside. So it is well enough insulated. The ceiling is all done up, like R3 there. Alright, I'm gonna get the wood stove going, heat it up in here, make some lunch. If you're concerned, oh, Foresty, you're using somebody else's firewood that they cut. I was actually up here a month ago with my chainsaw and like, I cut all this. This is my doing. But somebody else must have split this and put it in here. It's a community effort. Forgot to bring a flipper. Placing the roof vent. Yeah, pretty neat little cabin up here. Big thanks to the local community for fixing this thing up. But it's just like very, very slowly starting to warm up in here and become a cozy temperature. It's just like such a small wood stove that it seems to take a long time. But I bet you there's a couple of feet of snow on the roof that'll heat up even quicker in here. But yeah, I think I'd come back when there's more snow and ski the slopes, spend a night. I've definitely stayed in worse cabins than this in the past. There's no sign of mouse poop or anything, so that's always a good thing. But that little tiny cabin that I built years ago, I actually like went back and I took it all down, cleaned up the area, so that one doesn't exist anymore. I should have put a tarp on the roof like day one, because after like a year of sitting there with a leaky roof, it just got so dank on the inside that it wasn't really like habitable anymore. But that was never really meant to be a permanent structure anyway. I kind of just built that for the fun of it to see if I could do it. But yeah, pretty cozy in here. We'll have to come back. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'll probably wrap it up here. Just let the fire burn out, then head back down to the van. But thanks for watching and coming along on this one. and we'll see you in the next one.